Hello and welcome to the InnerMedia podcast. I'm Josh Karam, and with me today is Ted Karam, as always.
Yes.
And you probably can tell if you're watching the video that I have a similar shirt as last time, which means that we're going to talk about Avatar coming out. Now, all of Avatar is on Netflix right now. You got Last Airbender, and you got Legend of Korra. You have the Kyoshi books that are coming out right now, the comics that continue to keep coming out. So Avatar is, as big as it is. And we were specifically talking that we wanted to get to this point. We wanted to talk about the Guru. Basically the last two episodes of Book 2.
Yeah.
Not only are they amazingly spiritual, which is why we're talking about them, but they are just such a big impact to end a season with. It was such a huge hit. So
oh God, yeah.
When we were talking,
when we were watching it years ago, it was just amazing.
Yeah, we were saying we can't do this in one, we could fit this into other talks of Avatar. So we believe that this deserves its own little thing.
There's a lot of truths in this. Well, 2 episodes, but the one episode called
Crossroads
Guru.
and Guru.
Yeah.
But mainly Guru. We want to basically this episode. We want to talk about the Guru and basically Aang and the Guru's interaction, because they talk about chakras a lot.
That's right.
And as Aang might say, what are chakras? And Guru Pathik's like, oh, okay, I guess we're going to start at the basics then. So, first off, hey, spoiler alert. We're going to talk about everything basically, this is Book 2, episodes 19 and 20. So, spoilers there. Anything beforehand might come up again. So, that is the spoiler alert right there. Masters, Wizards, and Jedi, why don't we have it be explaining what chakras are in a simple sense? So, Guru Pathik says, the water flows through this creek much like the energy flows through your body. As you see, there are several pools where the water swirls around before flowing on. These pools are like our chakras. So, I think the only way to do this appropriately is we go through each chakra, each 7 chakra.
Yep.
We talk about how they relate to the show Aang, and we talk about, I guess, what it really means, too. Because you could watch it and kind of, be like, oh, that's cool. But there is something rooted in
Absolutely. This is a science. It's an ancient form of science, actually. It goes back to the roots of yoga, which in Sanskrit, the word yoga means union, or to unite with the source within you. So this is all about what we continue to talk about. This is all about transcending the illusion of separation and unifying with the whole of life, with the totality of being. Now, Guru, if you spell it out, it's Guru, and this is what it's all about. It's about discovering the real you, understanding we're all potentially the Guru of our lives. We're all the one. We're all the special, like Neo, like Emmett, and the other movies. And so this is a great episode because it breaks down this ancient system of energy flow through our bodies. So remember, we are an energy body, and then we translate the world of energy through the physical senses of sight and sound and touch and taste and smell. In these small bandwidths of which we can see and hear and touch, we translate energy into the experience of form. That all takes place in our brains.
I don't think it's appreciated enough either, because I even find we go back to Kundalini breathing, of course, when we talk about this, because as an actor, if you look into it enough, a lot of things say, and it's not even just acting, it's really anything where you're about to do something. If you're able to breathe and really feel the energy flow through your 7 senses, you're more open as a person. And if we're talking about acting in this case, which is what I deal with, that just means that you're more open. You're open
to the flow of that energy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so it can flow through you unimpeded. That's the magic here. So the principle of what the Guru Pathik teaches Aang, to become the avatar, right?
Yeah.
To be a realized being. And that's what we're looking to do in our lives, however we may say it. We just want to be the best version of ourselves. It's all about opening up. It's all about removing the resistance, letting go. It's all about coming into harmony and balance in the present moment. And there is this ancient system of energy flow, just like energy flows through our computers and our cell phones and our TVs. the electrical energy that flows through those circuits, it does so according to a certain principle and certain laws. Well, energy flows through our bodies in the same way. It does so according to certain principles and laws. And the study of Kundalini yoga, or the use of breath work and focus and concentration and meditation, and feeling and sensing, just as you were saying, feeling and sensing the energy that's there.
Yeah.
Kundalini yoga is all about learning to begin to sense that energy, feel that energy, and raise that energy. So it comes, and then there's these through these energy centers. There's 7 energy centers all the way up the spine of our being, and these are the chakras.
Yes.
These are the pools of spiraling energy, right?
Yeah.
That Guru Pathik is asking Aang about, and he goes, "What are chakras?"
Exactly. Yeah.
So, so we're going to talk. That's what we want to go through today. What is so significant about learning how to cooperate with and bring ourselves into harmony with and bring ourselves into union with this energy flow, so that it can revitalize our bodies, our minds, our hearts, and really just cause us to shine in life.
Yeah, we're diving in right now. And you also said, which is important, is that if you had like 7 pools of water flowing into each other and you had all this muck covering one up, your energy can't flow. And Aang, the guru says, he's a close friend of Monkey Atso, but also that he can help Aang get into the avatar state at will.
At will.
Exactly.
Deliberately. In other words, you become your best you when you need to. Deliberately. When there's a challenge, when you perform, however you perform on the stage of life, whatever you do, you bring the best of you to it when you can do it deliberately.
Exactly. And it's and the same with Aang, if we want to relate it to the avatar state in general. In the past that we've seen throughout all these episodes up till now, it's anger, fear, loss, these just big emotional moments that, like, it's almost like dying, where it's like, no, and then the avatar state is his safety to fight continuously. But he's got to be open. So number 1, we got our first chakra here, is the earth chakra. It's
right
located at the base of the spine.
Yeah. Root chakra. Yeah.
It deals with survival and is blocked by fear. So for Aang, this one is relating to the Fire Lord.
Right.
His whole thing ever since he got out of the iceberg is that he has to defeat the Fire Lord before Sozin's Comet, or on the day of Black Sun. But he has to defeat the Fire Lord, and that's a scary thing. His survival depends on it. But if he's trying to survive, I think the big question is, like, isn't it okay to be afraid for your survival? Like, how does that block survival?
Great question.
Yeah.
And this is fundamental. I mean, this is just with all of us, right? This fear, false evidence appearing real. What is that? What is that? That is a form of energy. And what happens is remember, when the energy is flowing freely, when there's no blockages, so all these centers throughout our, all these centers are in harmony. They're not all misaligned and offset. When there is misalignment, so here's the real you, right here in your heart center, and everything's flowing, but here's who you're allowing yourself to be. Here's what you're thinking and feeling right now. It's not in alignment with the real you. So this misalignment it causes resistance to the flow of energy. This misalignment is the conditioned bundle of reflexes that we know as ourselves. It's who we think we are. So there's this misalignment and this resistance in an electrical circuit dissipates as heat, wasted heat. Resistance in a human circuit dissipates as suffering. And so when there's this resistance, we experience it as fear. We experience it as some kind of negative emotion: fear, worry, anxiety, frustration. And so fear is actually a friend in disguise. We completely, we don't want to feel fear, of course, but when it shows up, we typically fall back into conditioned patterns of being, of acting, of reacting to life. But instead, if we can remain present, if we can remain conscious, if we can remain here and now, and know that fear is just a form of resistance. Fear is just letting us know that what we're thinking and feeling and vibrating in this moment is not the truth. It's not in harmony with our true being. It's not reality. It's just a concept about reality. And we live into that reality. We live into our beliefs about reality. But so when fear shows up, and it's very foundational, right? This root chakra has all to do with grounding, rooted in our just beingness and being what we are, who and what we are. So when we can begin to learn that fear is just a friend in disguise, and we can welcome it. I mean, we don't go looking for it, but when it shows up, we don't have to panic about it. We can say, oh, look, I'm not, what I'm thinking and feeling right now, what I'm vibrating is not the truth about me or this situation. And so we use it as a compass to redirect, to bring ourselves back into harmony with what we truly are. And so as we begin to recognize our thoughts and feelings in this moment, and we settle it back into the present moment, and we realize that we're thinking very limited thoughts, very conditioned patterns of beliefs are rising. We begin to notice that we are our own worst enemy when it comes to fear.
Definitely.
We are the source of it. It's not that person or that situation or what's going on in the world. And there's a lot in the world right now, going on in our world right now, to say, yeah, no, that's why I'm afraid. About fill in the blank, whatever you're focused on, whatever you're seeing, whatever you're looking at, it's not that. It's what you're making it in here that causes you to be flowing free in energy, still connected with the source, still in unity and being a loving presence for a higher intelligence, a higher wisdom to flow through, or reacting in fear, reacting in misalignment.
Let your fears become clear to you. You are concerned about your survival, but you must surrender to those fears. Let your fears flow down the creek. That's perfect. That is the Guru's.
And that is the great wisdom. Now, the big challenge is, how do we allow our fears to just flow down the creek? How do we let go?
You're right, because we live in this first chakra the most of our life. It is that fight or flight kind of thing. I mean, even in the simple terms, if you're on a subway in New York City, and like, simply enough, there's plenty of times where you're probably in a crowded subway and you're like, oh God, I don't want to be here right now. Like, what's going to happen to me? Like, I just need to keep to myself and just hold and breathe really shallow in my body.
Yeah, and that's the stagnant energy. That's the resistance. So as we learn to breathe, become present, if you use the practice of yoga or meditation or listening to music, just do something to change your state when you feel the fear. Now, again, we have a statement that says, feel the fear and take action anyway when you're moving in the direction of your heart's true desire. And that's true. You should do that, because we're always stretched a little bit outside of our comfort zone. We're always in a new, unfamiliar territory. We fear what we don't know. And that's where magic happens. That's where the new infinite possibilities of divine good that are here, right now, can flow through us, can be revealed to us in the mirror of life. And in order to let that happen, we need to continue to allow the energy to flow, continue to take that action. But then the question arises, is there a way beyond fear so that we don't have to feel it at all? And that comes when we are in the present moment, when we're unified with the whole of being, when you come back into harmony, when you let go of who you think you are, when you die into the past, when you literally let go of your identity and you become still. Remember, we talk about this in meditation. You step into the closet, you close the door, you let the whole world go. And in that stillness, in that presence, something happens. You as an individual expand into the universal nature of your being. And when you do, you're one with all that is. You're one with the landscape, one with the tree, the flowers, everyone, everything. Now, you're being your true self.
Yeah.
And your true self is never afraid, because there's nothing separate from you. When you're being your true self, you're in unity. There's nothing separate apart from you to be afraid of, to be in opposition with. You're united. And that's where the fear, that we transcend the illusion of fear. We transcend remember, it's false evidence that appears real. And when you step in, and what is that evidence that appears real? It's shadows without substance. And why do the shadows threaten us so? Because we believe in their reality. What's the answer? The answer is to bring forth your inner light. Turn on your light. As Jesus said a long time ago, though you walk through the valley of shadows, fear not. This is the valley of shadows, the valley of darkness. Fear not, for I am always with you. What is the I am? I am is your light. It's your energy. It's your life force. That when you allow to emerge, when you come back into alignment with the real you, and the energy just starts flowing again all on its own, your light shines forth. It dispels the darkness. It dissolves the shadows, and you are home in the peace that exists beyond all fear. Peace that exists beyond all understanding.
Yeah. There's a lot of chakras to open here, and it's interesting because
yeah, we can't spend too much time on
but
one,
you're right about
it's
fear.
It's the basic. It's
because with fear, there's a lot of people where if you're living there, and I mean even when we feel we're living there at the moment, we deprive ourselves of pleasure. We feel we don't deserve to feel good in that moment, and that goes right into our water chakra, which is in our lower abdomen. That deals with pleasure and is blocked by guilt. So just to touch base with our friend Aang. For a second, I hope that he's our friend too. I'd like that to be a cohabitation, right? A relationship that goes both ways.
Yeah.
He can't get over the fact that he left his people. He ran away.
Yeah.
He ran away, and that haunts him.
He
abandoned them, and they all died without him, and it's just something that he can't let go of. So I'll throw out the guru what he says right here at the beginning. Look at all the guilt that burdens you so. What do you blame yourself for? Now accept the reality that these things happened, but do not let them cloud and poison your energy. If you are to be a positive influence on the world, you need to forgive yourself. I love it every time.
Isn't it? Yeah. And that's speaking to all of us, right? So this is again, it deals with pleasure and is blocked by guilt, right? So what do we feel guilty for?
Yeah.
We feel guilty for what? We feel guilty for the things we've done that we wish we didn't. We feel guilty for the things we didn't do we wish we did. What do we judge ourselves for, right? How do we sit there, that inner critic, that self-sabotaging inner critic that is constantly telling us, you're not good enough. You're not strong enough. You're not smart enough. You're unworthy. You're not lovable. You're not valuable. You're not okay just being who you are.
Yeah.
You've got to improve. You got to change. You're just not a good. You're bad. You're just, and that's what That's that inner voice. It's always why because it's always judging the egoic self, the false facade. Remember the ocean of one, and we're all a wave upon the ocean, but then we give a whole identity to that wave. We give it a name and a history, but it's just water. It's just H2O, just like every other wave. It's the one life force. It's the one expressing as a unique embodiment that you are. And so we're constantly being beaten up internally by this inner critic, by this inner voice.
Yeah, your guilt wants to just get at you. Even with a guilty pleasure, it's like, oh, you shouldn't
you shouldn't indulge in that ice cream, or you shouldn't enjoy. We're here to indulge in life. That's why we're here. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We're not supposed to be sitting and doing nothing in a cave. We're supposed to be playing full on the playing field of life. And so it's important that we remember that we have that little critic, like the traditional guardian angel and devil, talking to us. Which voice do we listen to? Do we listen to this? Gollum was listening to the two voices in the Lord of the Rings, right? And very much express that. So that goes on in every human being. That's what's always going on all day long, every day. And how do we silence that inner critic? How do we not listen to it? How do we, silence it or at least not pay attention to it, not feed it, not believe in it? And it comes down to recognizing the stories that it's telling us are not the truth.
Yeah.
First of all, recognizing the stories themselves. So it takes awareness. A lot of times when we're just reacting to life like puppets on a string, there's no presence, there's no awareness, there's no consciousness. We see something, someone says something, someone looks at us a strange way, and we just react. We're just gone. Remember we talked about where nobody's home anymore?
Yeah.
And then fear goes up, and what happens? Intelligence goes down. Why? Because there's nobody home anymore. There's no presence. There's no consciousness. There's no awareness. What happens? A program kicks up and starts running.
Yeah.
And it takes over. And then later on we say, well, I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I did that. We say and do terrible things, but we're completely unconscious. We don't even know we're doing it. program kicks in. So how do we silence that critic? How do we get beyond that programming? We want to begin to remember that the judgments we have about ourselves are not the truth.
Yeah.
The judgment, the way we judge ourselves for being limited, for being less, for being inadequate, for just not being lovable, not being worthy. That's not the truth. That's who you know yourself to be, but it's not what you truly are. What you truly are is magnificent, a being of light, a being of radiance, love itself, magnificence. That's what you truly are. The real you is a being of light, is the spark of the divine, is that spirit within you, that soul within you, that when you take it out of you, there's nothing left of you. It's really the whole of your being. So you want to remember this, and who we think we are is one thing. What we truly are is another. And when we keep coming back to that presence, that here and nowness, that energy, that is what we are beyond who we know ourselves to be. And that's unified with the whole of being. In that presence of what you truly are is love, is compassion, is understanding. Now you start leading from that place in your life, from your heart, as opposed to judging yourself. Now, when you judge yourself, when we judge ourselves, and life is a mirror, what are we going to do? We're going to judge other people and other things and other circumstances. So we want to release all judgment by knowing thyself, by coming home to the truth of what we are. And then that's where we forgive ourselves. And all forgiveness is ultimately self-forgiveness.
Yeah.
Right? Because everything's a reflection in the mirror. And what are we forgiving ourselves for? Hiding our light. That's all. Yeah. Because when we hide our light, we live in fear. Our energy of fear, our vibration of fear is what we share with our family and our friends and our community and our world.
Yeah.
And we hold ourselves and everyone in darkness. When you die unto the past, when you die unto who you think you are, when you let go, when you balance this center, when you bring this center into harmony within you, then your inner light shines. And that's the blessing that comes forth. Not just for us individually, but for everyone around us.
Chakras are all pools of water, as
Yes.
the Guru describes, and they all lead into each other. Of course, we were talking...
They're all connected.
Yeah, we segued fear into guilt. I mean, you can't allow yourself to take pleasure. And you were going into even the third chakra, and since lower abdomen and upper abdomen, where the fire one is, are so close in general, they really play into each other. Even when we were reviewing the notes, I was trying to remember fire and water, like which one was Aang's experience. Because with fire, it deals with willpower and is blocked by shame. And Aang is ashamed of firebending. He hurt one of the people that was closest to him with firebending, so he will never firebend again.
Yeah.
And what are you ashamed of? What are the biggest disappointments in yourself? You will never find balance if you deny this part of your life, is what the Guru tells him. And it's hard. I mean, I get it. It's shame, right? Like, when you do something wrong, you're like, oh my God, like, how can I... it drags on me so much. Like, I can't look at somebody the same way.
Right. And that comes back, and like you said, it's tied to forgiveness and self-forgiveness. It's about letting go. It's about realizing what we are, what you are beyond who you know yourself to be. The individual who is all about self-improvement, always trying to fix the inherent I'm broken mentality, and I need to improve myself, and I need to fix this and fix that. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. We're here to learn new things and develop ourselves, to grow, develop, and unfold. But if that's all we ever do, and we miss the self-realization of what we already are, we don't have to improve it. You're already perfect. You're already a divine being of radiant light. And if we walk through all of life and miss that, that's the true tragedy, because that's what awakens the truth within us, and allows us to express our will in this world. This chakra deals with willpower and is blocked by shame. What are we ashamed of? Where do we feel inadequate? It's all of those. What are the biggest disappointments in ourselves? It's those times, usually, right, when you ask yourself, when you knew you could have done better, but you didn't.
Yeah.
When you could have said the right thing and you didn't. When you could have helped and you didn't. Or when you got upset and you lost it, you lost control, and you said things you didn't want to say and you did things you didn't want to. Now you regret. What's the answer? The answer is getting yourself out of the way. In other words, same thing. Every one of these chakras, by the way, it's all about opening up and letting go and coming into harmony and unifying with life and allowing the flow. Even though each energy center has its own emotion associated with it, its own particular emotional type of muck, which gets stuck there, right?
Yeah.
But it's all about coming into harmony. The real you and who you think you are, keep coming back. And again, this is not a one-time thing. This is something we do over and over and over again every single day. Recalibrating our energy, retuning our vibration, over and over and over. Letting go, letting go, letting go. So this one's so beautiful because in here, Aang says, I'm never going to
Firebend again,
right? Because he hurt Katara. He hurt one of someone he loves the most in this world, right? And so, what is that for us? What is that for you? I'm never going to what again? Fill in the blank. Trust, give.
There's plenty,
love, be vulnerable, be open, right? Why? Because our past experiences, we've been hurt. We felt pain. It didn't work, right? So this is all about getting beyond that. In other words, opening ourselves again, letting that go. That's just a bundle of reactive conditioning. It seems real for us. It's our personality because it's actually embossed. It's actually imprinted in the neural networks of our brains. Yeah. But it's not what we truly are. It's just who we've known ourselves to be. So again, coming back to over and over again, the breath work, I'll tell you, this is where the breath work of Kundalini Yoga is so powerful. Because not only are we getting present, not only getting still into that theta brainwave state where our body's asleep, our mind's still awake, we're present, we're kind of sitting up straight, and we're asleep. Our body's gone, literally. We don't really feel it, we're not really sense, but there's a thread of consciousness. The mind's still awake. And now with the breathing, there's this breath work. We work the energy up through the centers. Yeah. And it's like there's all this junk and debris in a hose, but you start pushing water through it. You start bringing water up through it. It starts clearing it out. It starts opening it up again. And now the energy can begin to flow. What's so beautiful about that? When the energy flows, and everything comes back into harmony. This chakra, which was off centered this way, comes into tune. This one, which was off this way, comes back into harmony. So all of a sudden, there's this just natural flow of what's the natural flow of life. What is that? It brings love, joy, abundance, well-being, all on its own. It returns to you all on its own. And as it flows, as it shines, as you are radiating it and vibrating it and sending it out, what's the mirror of life show you back? It reflects back to you that light, that abundance, that love, that joy, that well-being in your body temple, and the reality that reveals itself, that is drawn to you all around.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing, and it all connects, of course. I mean, I just wanted to throw in this little Uncle Iroh thing right here because I think it really relates to the third, and weirdly enough, it kind of adds into the fourth in a weird way. Pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. True humility is the only antidote to shame. And we're talking about, like, it's like your shield is constantly up, right? It's like, no, Shield's I screwed up with this. No, I can't feel good. I can't feel this. And I always think about, like, imagine living your life without living it from your heart, at least. The whole point in life is, like, it's humility. You it's okay to be vulnerable. Like, you might get, people are like, no, I'm going to get hurt. I mean, I've already screwed this up. I can't feel good about this. And I'm afraid of everything around me. I can't. So it's like, opening up this, and of course opening up the rest is important, but like if you can't live from your heart chakra, your fourth chakra, which it deals with love and is blocked by grief, like without like breathing from here, it's amazing. And of course, I don't know, our heart hurts sometimes, right? Like especially in Aang's case, all his people are dead. Like, everyone he knew is gone. Yeah, it's hard. I don't know. It's hard to live from here. You could probably talk.
Well, that's the big challenge. Yeah. So, again, we have experiences in life that cause us to disconnect, to fall out of alignment with, to resist, and to no longer trust, no longer be open, no longer be loving, no longer be trusting. And that's when we feel the pain. That's when we feel the hurt. That's when we feel it's the resistance. It's the resistance. Remember we talked about the resistance shows itself as negative emotion. It could be fear, it could be pain, it could be loss, it could be hurt. All the negative emotions are indicating that we are not being the truth. You're not being the real you. You're not being the radiant, loving, unified being that you truly are. And so that's the big challenge, to live from our heart, to open our heart. That's what we really want to do. You know, we guard ourselves all the time because of what's happened to us in the past. But when we can learn to be still, when we can learn to be present, when we can learn, what happens is, remember, that doorway opens and we start to know ourselves beyond that little individual that's been hurt, beyond that little life story and history. We wake up again to the magnificent beings that we are.
Yes.
And in that, we fall in love again with life. We fall in love again with ourselves. And when we do that, now we are being love. And now love can shine forth from us. In order to feel, love is a one-way street. In order to feel that we have to be connected with our source. We have to be connected. We have to be aligned with the truth of our being. Why? Because that's what love is.
Yeah.
The divine is love. God is love. The universe is love. That's the truth. So when we're connected with it, we're feeling it, we're vibrating it, our heart opens, and now that's the energy. That's the vibration we're sending out. Now we give others permission to feel that, to be that.
Yeah.
It looks like I'm giving love to you. But what happens is I'm being love and I'm embracing you, the unity of our beingness. Now you can allow yourself to feel love within yourself. So it appears, have you ever been around a friend or a family member who is going through incredible challenges in life, and they're just afraid, they're stressed, they're worried, they're despondent, they're depressed, and there could be 20 family members or friends all around loving them, wanting to support them, beaming love at them, and that person will not feel a single ray of that love, not one warmth of all of that emotion or that intention, because they're disconnected in their own heart. So in other words, it doesn't come this way. It looks like it comes this way. It looks like it comes from outside in. Like, I need you to love me, and I want everybody to love me, and I want the world to love me. That we do that when we're disconnected in ourselves. We look for the mirror of life to say we're okay. We look for the mirror of life to tell us we're worthy and we're lovable and we're good, when we don't know thyself, when we're not being, when we lost connection inside our hearts, inside our energy, our own energy system, and our energy is no longer flowing. So we need that, we want that, and we try to manipulate for that. Love me, give to me. Instead of come home to this moment, let go of all that. Just let go of who you think you are. Just become present, become still, here and now. And allow yourself to, whatever emotion comes up, whatever feelings come up, just let them come and let them go. And breathe. And this is what the power of Kundalini Yoga. Just breathe into that center. You breathe in your heart center. You breathe in loving light. You breathe out all darkness, all resistance, all separate. And you just any negative emotion. And you cleanse and you purge. And then you fall in love with life again. Yeah. And now you're here. Now that's open. Now you're unified, and love shines forth from you.
Love is a form of energy, and it swirls all around us. The love that comes from people who you have lost has not left this world. It's still inside your heart and is reborn into the form of new love. And you were talking exactly with what the Guru was saying here as well, because the truth is, there are so many times where we're finally like opening up here, like, you know what, I'm ready to be vulnerable again. I'm ready to allow myself to be out there. Humility and everything. And like, it's like, if I can't get love from this person, there's no other person in the world, or this person's gone from the world and there's no more love left. But it's true, because
we feel such a connection.
All those people that Aang lost, it was all reborn into new people. It's like Katara and Sokka.
Because where is it?
Yeah.
It's cosmic energy.
It's energy,
It is the ocean of one. In other words, who is Katara? Who are our loved ones?
Yeah.
But embodiments of divine energy. right? It's so we miss the whole point. We try and possess this and hold on to that and manipulate to try and love me, love me. It's you need to know, remember that the truth that you are love itself, and that you can't get it from outside. It's impossible. It's beautiful when there's a whole room or a whole stadium or a whole world of us shining our love, our heart centers and dancing in that light together.
Yeah.
But it doesn't come from outside. It comes from within. Remember, what's outside? Life is like a mirror. Everything we perceive out here is as we sow, so shall we reap. It's the energy that we send out that comes back. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So again, it's so hard to remember this sometimes because our hearts break. Our hearts are broken. But just as Guru Pathik says, love is a form of energy, and it never leaves the world. It never leaves our existence. And it just takes on different forms. Energy is never created or destroyed. This energy just transforms. And when we tune into a love for life, a love for our just beingness, just being who and what we are, when you recognize that, then all of a sudden that love gets projected, and you begin to see it in every single one of your relationships.
Yeah. I always find it interesting because when we talk about love and love chakra, and I think this relates to Aang really well, is that when you think about love and it's like, oh my God, I love this person, or I want to tell this person this thing, it all is coming from your throat. You know what I mean? You are saying these
Are
things.
you speaking that?
With the sound chakra in the throat, which deals with truth and is blocked by lies, we find ourselves not being able to say, well, sorry, the greatest thing is the lies that you tell yourself, not someone lying to you, but the lies that you tell yourself is especially what it is. And you cannot lie about your own nature. So it is like, oh my God, I'm feeling so good right now. But I'm like, wait, do I really feel this way? Wait, what? And it all deals with these 4 chakras telling you, no, you shouldn't. The lies you tell yourself. And Aang's, in this case, is like, why didn't you tell Katara and Sokka that you were the Avatar? And he says, I never wanted to be. And the Guru, I mean, I'll just jump in. The Guru's basically like, you are the Avatar. Like, that is your nature. You just accept your nature. Yeah.
And that's the truth for all of us. We all are the Avatar. You all are the Guru of your own life. The G, you are you. You know, you are your own Yoda. You are your own master teacher. The greatest teacher is within. And so this is beautiful when we get into the throat chakra, the 5th chakra, because as we begin to feel this love, as we begin to know thyself, as we begin to feel this truth, we want to express it.
Yeah.
We want to share it. We want to, speak it. Speak your truth. And it's so, amazing that it's all about, as the Guru says, this chakra is blocked by lies. And the biggest lies, or the most important lies, are the ones we tell ourselves. Right?
Yeah.
That is all that inner voice, that inner critic. And it's the beliefs, a lot of the beliefs we hold deep within our subconscious that just aren't true. Yeah. Remember we talked about this when we did the Inception, and the Matrix and the other films. When we're young, we're very open. Our subconscious is very open. Yeah. Why? Because we're in theta. We're in a different brainwave state, and so we're like sponges. Why? So super learning can happen when you're a child, between the ages of 3 and 7. You can learn multiple languages. You can do all this stuff. When you're an adult like me, you can't. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. We need to get back into that theta state. Why? Because the doorway opens to the subconscious, and it's easily programmed. It's easily conditioned. But a lot of the programs that are there, the beliefs that are stored there, are not the truth. Even when we hyphen the word belief, be-lie, we're being a lie. So a lot of what we believe, a lot of the stories we tell ourselves, a lot of the lies, they're all coming from inside of ourselves. Now, we project that energy, and then we say, oh, you're lying. Oh, we judge and we blame people and circumstances in the world. But really, it's all here. Yeah. It's all here within ourselves. And so as we begin to open our hearts and we begin to speak the truth, not to be right, not to make yourself right or to make others wrong, because it's the truth of your being. Yeah. In other words, what else would you say? What else? I mean, how else would you want to, share what's going on inside of you, but authentically, genuinely, as the real you, the truth. love. And again, because because we're plugged into wholeness, because we're unified, one with being, that truth is never to make us right. It's always, it comes from, it's imbued with kindness. It's imbued with love. It's imbued with compassion, understanding. Why? Because we're one with everyone and everything. We're not trying to separate ourselves when we speak our truth. We're not trying to make others wrong. We're not trying to, beat the drum of separation or hold on to a past. We're here in the present moment, free. And we're expressing infinite possibilities of divine good can flow through us. So wisdom flows, higher intelligence flows, answers come, solutions come through you, and you have the resolve, the courage, you have that energy to share that truth, to speak it.
Yeah.
And we encourage you to do so, because that's when this whole center just comes alive. And you'll be surprised by the truth that actually comes out of you. That
Definitely.
You didn't even know was there, that you express.
With Aang, especially, like, his being the Avatar, so much of it is a lot of people saying, oh, you'll be like this, and you'll be like that. Oh, and you'll need to do this to do that, and to bring balance, you have to do this. And no wonder why Aang at
Everybody
first is
giving him advice.
I don't want to be that because I'm me, and I'm not that. And we talked about this last week with Kung Fu Panda 2, or just Kung Fu Panda in general. I realized Kung Fu Panda also, there we go.
Yeah.
That he doesn't want to be himself, because how can I be the Dragon Warrior?
Right.
How can
Aang
be the Avatar? But it is just accepting you are you.
You are you.
And the Avatar is just part of that. But that doesn't mean you have to be Roku or Kyoshi or whatever.
Anyone but you.
He carves his own path in general, and that's him being true to himself. And we hear all these, and you're saying, there's all these other voices, of course, telling us, the voices inside ourselves, voices in other people. And I think that kind of brings us to the sixth chakra, which is the light chakra, and it's in the center of the forehead. It deals with insight and is blocked by illusion, because we forget that we're all the same person. Like the swamp, we're all connected.
We're all one ocean.
There is no one who can be
ocean.
something else, because
Yeah.
we're all the same in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all...
Well, if you think about it, the ocean, and we're all an individual
Yeah.
wave on top of the ocean, when we only see on the surface level of consciousness, only in beta, brainwave, everything's separate. But what is the wave that you and me and this plant and that tree and everyone else and everything?
Yeah.
It's all the same water. It's all the same H2O. It's all the same life energy. In fact, it's all the ocean.
Yeah.
It's all one.
It's so great. I'm gonna read what the Guru says.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it is-
What did he say?
Basically, the sixth chakra is him just saying this great little speech here. The greatest illusion of this world is the illusion of separation. Things you think are separate and different are actually one and the same. We are all one people, but we live as if divided. We are all connected, and everything is connected. Even the separation of the four elements is an illusion. If you open your mind, you will see that all the elements are one, four parts of the same whole. Even metal is just a part of earth that has been purified and refined. And I love when the series dives into this, because Iroh, when he talks about how he learned this from the waterbenders, and Toph is able to find the particles to be able to... I mean, like, metal bending was impossible. People are like, oh, even when they throw it in the cage, it's like, good luck bending metal.
Yeah,
but it is all the same. We're all the same people. It's just so amazing, because the Avatar is bringing balance to the world, and people are caught up in the illusion that, well, those firebenders are different than me. They bend fire. Fire's bad. I mean, even Zhang Zhang, earlier on in the episode where he burns Katara, is like, I'm ashamed. Like, I wish I was a waterbender. Like, people think they're so different, but
we're all the same.
We're all the same.
We're all one.
Yeah.
And that's really what this sixth energy center, the third eye center, beginning to see a bigger picture of reality, beginning to open. There's the pineal gland and the pineal and the pituitary gland, the two master glands of our body, which give off all kinds of neurochemicals and neuropeptides. They begin to become activated when this center is open. So as the energy flows up, and again, the water's cleansing and it's flowing through, and we're starting to awaken these centers, and we're speaking our truth. We're feeling love in our heart. We feel connected. We feel... Now all of a sudden the energy's opening up here, and these energy centers in our head are becoming activated. And what does that mean? Why do they call it the third eye? Because we begin to see in ways we never saw before. Well, what do these eyes see? These eyes see, we talked about it, they're translators of energy, right? In a very narrow bandwidth of vibration, energy that comes and gets translated into an optic nerve, little spikes along an optic nerve, it goes to the brain creates this picture of reality, vision, sight, colors, right? Well, that's just one transducer of energy. We also hear in a certain range. Well, when the pineal gland gets activated and woken up, that's another transducer of vibrational energy that has nothing to do with the physical dimension, that thin slice of physical reality. Remember, in the torus of energy flow, there's infinite energy in this universe, and there's only a very thin slice that is the world of the phenomenal, the physical universe that we know. And so we begin to open or activate these glands, and we start perceiving in other realms. We start actually having experiences of sights and sounds and sensations without our physical bodies, without these translators here, without this bodysuit. And we're having direct, full-on experiences without our physical senses. But they're as real, they're more real, in fact, because they're tuned into this larger picture of reality. So before, when we were just looking at a couple of little pieces in the puzzle, now we go, our awareness expands, our consciousness is raised, and we see a larger perspective. It's like, again, remember the ocean of one? Yeah. We're all these little waves on top of the ocean, and we're all banging around, and it's all chaotic, and it's confusion, and it's chaos, and it's fearful. But then when we get present, when we get still, when we learn to center ourselves, and this energy starts flowing again, unimpeded throughout our being. Yeah. We overcome our reactive conditioning. We just come back to the present moment, and we're constantly recalibrating our energy, recalibrating these energy centers, retuning our vibration to the omnipresent love and joy and truth of this moment. And as we do that, the energy flows freely, and our awareness expands, and we sink down into, as that wave, we sink down into the depths of our being. Now we're from a completely different vantage point. We perceive all of the waves. As one. We see everything connected. We know ourselves, and now an inspiration comes to us, and energy flows through us that is beyond ourselves as individuals. It's informed by the whole. Great wisdom, great insight. This is where creativity flows from, all genius, all excellence, in coming up with new answers and solutions to the new world that we're living in. All comes from this inner vision, the truth that's already there.
No, you're right. It's really enlightening to think of, once the third eye is there. Like, imagine if Aang lived his whole life with, I'm afraid of the Fire Lord, I have to defeat the Fire Lord to survive, and never got to the point realizing, oh, we're the same person. Yeah. It doesn't even, it's incredible how much you realize not only about the world, but yourself. It is,
in relationship to the world and all that is. So in the end, he took a path that was uniquely his own. And each of us have that path if we honor it, if we have the courage to walk it and trust in thyself. Because he, in the end, didn't harm the Fire Lord. He didn't hurt. He just took away his bending. Yeah. He didn't even know he could do that. Remember, we talked about that in the last episode.
We did.
There are things that you don't even know you can do. But as you awaken your own energy, as your Kundalini energy rises, and what is that? That's just your life force. It's this yogic term, but it's just energy that flows through you. It's the electromagnetic energy that flows through you, just like it flows through this computer or that cell phone or your TV. It's all energy is one energy. And it's divine energy.
It's all energy.
It's all one.
Exactly.
Everything is energy.
And we're talking about energy. We gotta hit this last chakra, because this is gonna blow the cap off everything we're talking about here. So the final chakra is the thought chakra, and it's located at the crown of the head. It deals with pure cosmic energy and is blocked by earthly attachment. So there's a lot we can talk about here, because a couple things. First, let's go into what the guru says. Once you open this chakra, you will be able to go in the state of mind where you will have complete control and awareness of all your actions. Meditate on what attaches you to this world. Now let all those attachments go. Let them flow down the river. forgotten. You must learn to let go, otherwise you won't be able to let the pure cosmic energy flow in from the universe. Now, Aang does have a problem with this, because he sees guitar as his earthly attachment. He says, so then why would I let go of that? Why would I choose cosmic energy over something I love? How can it be bad that I feel an attachment to whom or what I love? 3 chakras ago, that was a good thing.
Right?
Exactly. And it's true, because it's not only in Avatar, it's in like a lot of different media even that we consume. Anakin is in love with Padme, and he's like, oh, the Jedi Order says that you only could have love of the universe.
Right,
you can't have earthly attachment, because they really don't get it. Like, what is cosmic energy?
Cosmic energy,
because
exactly.
that's the misconnect. People aren't getting that part.
Yeah, so that's so true. I mean, this is huge. This is another.
This is the big thing.
This is the big thing, right? So again, this is our connection, the crown chakra, with the divine, with life force, with all that is. You know, just basically unity consciousness. And you know, he talks about, Guru Pathik says, you must learn to let go, and of your earthly attachments. You know, and then so let go of her, let go of Katara, and then, you know, it's beautiful. Aang says, why would I let go of, you know, why would I choose cosmic energy over Katara, who I love? And that question comes down to each of us. Why would we choose cosmic energy over our children, our families, our friends, our pet, you know, everything we love and hold dear in life? And that's where the disconnect is. It's not so much about, let's come at this at Guru Pathik is right. It's about learning to let go.
Yeah.
But let's come at it from a different perspective. That's coming at it from the perspective of separation. Let's come at it from the perspective of unity. Okay, so letting go happens naturally. It's a result. It's a byproduct. It's an effect of cultivating a direct experience of unity. In other words, as we practice becoming still, as we practice being present, overcoming our reactive conditioning, allowing the old bundle of the beliefs and the conditioning, all that resistance to just flow away, just let go. As we practice being here and now, and our awareness expands, it's that experience of unity that causes us to naturally let go. See, it looks like, remember, if life is truly a mirror and everything's a reflection, what does it mean to let go of our attachment to our loved one? Wait, that's a reflection. What does that really mean in us? It's an attachment to this form.
Exactly.
It's an attachment to this physical form. That's the foundation of it. Well, how do we transcend that? Well, the more that you take the time and you practice presence and stillness to that point where that awareness, your awareness expands and you unify with all of life. You go broadband in your consciousness.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, you are your body. Remember, you get to that theta brainwave state where your body's asleep. You're not even feeling your body anymore. You experience yourself beyond your body. You experience the fullness of your beingness without form. And when you do that, all of a sudden, as you do that and you cultivate that and you ease your way into that, you're naturally letting go of your attachment to the form. Yeah. It happens naturally. So it's not really about letting go of anything. It's more about cultivating an experience of your unity with everything. Because now you transcend the illusion of separation in yourself. And now you realize, what do you mean let go of my loved one? I am one with I am one with my loved one. I am that. I am. In other words, you begin to realize, and again, this is not an intellectual thing. It has to be a direct experience, because it's a direct experience that transforms you. It's a direct experience that rewires the neural networks in your brain and changes who you are. It changes your whole, and now, you know, you don't need to let go of your loved ones, because you're experiencing a direct union and oneness with them always, even in this world. And
from Aang's perspective, it's like when you really think about it too intellectually, you're right, you lose the purpose, because Aang then sees Katara like in trouble and struggling, and it's the fear of loss, because you're right, it's all separation. It's all separation. If you believe that person can be taken from you, I don't want to get too Jedi with this, but
Yeah.
like the fear of loss is the path of the dark side. It's no control over yourself and thinking that we are separate. But we just learned in the sixth chakra, we're all one.
We're all one.
Yeah. It's all a reflection
and
of
again,
yourself.
we'll all forget. We forget.
Yeah.
It's all, again, it's not just, it doesn't just happen once and you're there. We're infinite beings. So we're going to be growing, developing, and unfolding into more and more of the light and love and the unity of being forever.
Yeah.
So it's not about getting it done. It's not about, all right, I thought I got there already. That's what your mind is going to tell you. I thought I got over that one before.
If one of us
past that.
stubs our toe, we're not going to probably, I don't know, there's a point where you are just there, but you're probably not going to be like, oh, I stubbed my toe, dang it, and then remember immediately, oh, wait, everything is one.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I can't, yeah.
As long as we're in this world, we're constantly challenged. And so, again, it's about overcoming ourselves, overcoming that reactive conditioning, that program, that subconscious program of separation, lack, and limitation that's running in us. Overcoming that, dying unto that, letting go.
Yeah.
And as we do, that's when we come into the harmony with unity. And that's when the cosmic energy flows. I mean, why do we even want cosmic energy? What is cosmic energy anyway?
That's exactly
It's the life force. It's the real you. It's the divine. It's the spirit. It's the energy of life. It's the one power, the one light, the one love, the one life. And that's what we are. Yeah. It's the ocean of one in which we're all these expressions dancing upon its surface. And so why do we want to learn to let go? Why do we want, which really means don't try and, push away someone or something. No. Love is the answer. Love is the unifying power because love is the divine. Love is the source. Love is what we are.
Yeah.
So it's not about, I need to let you go. I need to let this go. I need to let all this go. I got to sell my car, my home, and go live in a cave. No, you don't need to do any of that. That's just more attachment. That's just putting more power into the things. The power's in you. Come back home here and now. And the key here is, what is cosmic energy? If we go back to that question, why do we even want it? It's our life force. It's the real you.
Yeah.
It's love itself. It is everything we desire. No matter how we have couched those desires in forms and symbolism. I want this car, I want this yacht, I want this fame, I want this fortune, I want this person, I want. It's all what? It's all waves upon the ocean. It's all cosmic energy. It's all life force. It's all the divine expressing itself. So when we bring into harmony this energy flow within our being by practicing, these practices are very powerful. Again, this is a scientific study. This is a scientific principle of energy flow in yoga, in Kundalini yoga, in meditation, in breath work, in Qigong, in Tai Chi. All of this is about bringing ourselves back. It's very simple. Bringing ourselves back into harmony with our true being and our true nature. And when we do that, it's all about letting go. It's not about trying to create it. It's not about trying to make good things happen in our lives. Because when we get out of the way, when we allow that flow to happen, that flow is all good things happening in our lives. So when that river begins to flow unimpeded again, when that energy begins to flow through our being unimpeded, what happens? Love returns all on its own. Well-being, vitality, health returns all on its own. Joy, abundance, prosperity, excellence, genius, creativity, and a sense of peace that is beyond all understanding return all on their own. We don't make them happen. We allow them to become welcome by becoming the right condition that allows that energy to flow without resistance, releasing all resistance in our being. Right from the root chakra to the crown chakra, it's just about coming into harmony with our own true nature.
The Guru says it from the beginning too. Like, imagine you begin this and then you stop. It's not dangerous and like you're gonna, like, it's not like Aang, oh my god, you're gonna die, Aang, if you don't do this. But yeah, exactly. If you can't
stop,
feel that flow, it's almost like
opening,
walking everywhere like this or something like that. Like, you can't do it. It's gonna hurt.
It is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
It hurts emotionally. It hurts mentally. It hurts physically even sometimes, because that Kundalini energy, that life force energy, that pranic energy, that force, that Luke and everyone in Star Wars uses. That is powerful divine energy. And when we start to awaken it, it naturally wants to flow.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Uncle Iroh says it beautifully, you know, because it's not
I was
about
saving that for the
yeah,
end.
it's
Yeah,
not about
yeah.
power and perfection. You know, I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to. It's about being fully human. It's
Yes.
about just, you know, just love thyself, know thyself, which means love thyself, accept thyself. Then there's self-realization. You see with real eyes the real you. And it's fine, improve yourself. We're here to do that. Learn, study, grow, but take the time to be still and know thyself as well. Because that is the miracle. You are the miracle. You are the magic of life. And to go through life and not know that, not remember that, not know your true self would be truly a shame. Would truly be, you know. So, you know, spend the time. And Iroh says it so beautifully. Remember that quote?
Oh, I got you. I got
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
We're going to hit it. Yeah. I want to leave the audience with that because I think that's
Yeah.
like the big
Oh my
thing to
God.
remember. So let me hit it now. Aang and Iroh, after all this, Aang runs away. He doesn't finish the training with the Guru because he can't afford to lose Katara in his mind. So
Now, let's stop there for a sec, because that's really good. Remember, he locks the chakra, right?
Yeah.
He reacts to the fear, and he runs off to save Katara, so he doesn't open. He blocks his crown chakra, and now the Guru says,
you'll never be able to go into
you
the
can't go
Avatar
into
state.
the avatar state anymore. That's what we continually do. In other words, we get so far, and then we pull back. A fear takes us. But if we just gently go a little further next time, just a little further next time, just when we were about to give up, we're about to open our eyes and come out of our yoga practice or out of meditation or whatever we're doing to be centered and be in line with life, just if you can, just breathe and surrender. Know that nothing will come to you that you can't handle. Nothing comes, it comes to us just at the right time. And so trust in yourself. Trust in that inner guru, that inner being that is you. There's a you that is so amazing, so enlightened, so empowered. It's the real you. It's your spirit. It's your soul. It's magnificent.
Katara is kidnapped by the Dai Li, and Zuko is as well. So Iroh goes to Toph Sokka and Aang and asks for help. And Aang and Iroh are heading through this cave they heard about from a Dai Li agent to try to find Zuko and Katara. And Toph earlier on has tea with Iroh, and Toph's like, oh, Iroh gives really good advice. So Aang's like, I gotta give this a try then. Aang says, well, I met the Guru, who was supposed to help me master the Avatar state and control this great power. But to do it, I had to let go of someone I love. And I just couldn't. And then Iroh says, perfection and power are overrated. I think you were very wise to choose happiness and love. Then Aang says, what happens if I can't save everyone and beat Azula? Without the Avatar state, what if I am not powerful enough? And this is the really big thing to take home here. I don't know the answer. Sometimes life is like a dark tunnel. You can't always see the light at the end of the tunnel, but if you just keep moving, you will come to a better place. And that's, I think really that's the way we could kind of end it, is that if we get stuck in this, and you were talking about it before, if we think that we need to go meditate in a cave, or if we think, man, I cannot move forward, I gotta figure this out right now, we're never gonna be able to access this. Sorry,
we're never
this,
fully
right
ready.
up here.
We're never fully ready.
Yeah.
What we move from wherever we are, just keep choosing again, choosing life, choosing love, choosing truth, and keep coming back at it again. We get beaten up, we get banged around by those waves. Never give up on your dreams. Never give up on you, the real you. It's hard sometimes. Reach out to friends, family. Reach out to media, videos. Listen to music, something that inspires you again. But keep coming back. Keep getting back on the bicycle. Keep getting back on the horse when you're thrown. Don't allow yourself to go through life saying, I'll never do that again, or I'll never trust again, or I'll never attempt that again. You may have tried already to fulfill your dreams. Keep applying that energy. But remember to apply as much energy inwardly as you are outwardly. It's not so much about trying to move the furniture around out here and change the reflected conditions that we see in the bathroom mirror. oh my God, we almost got out of this episode without saying it. It's more about being the change.
Maybe that was the big ender. I don't know, because I'm about to say, I thought we
Gandhi.
Yeah.
I think I quote Gandhi every single time, don't I? Because it's so powerful. It's such the truth. Remember to be the change. What does that mean? Become the vibration that you wish to see reflected back to you in the mirror of life.
Yeah.
Become the vibration. And when you do, when you're being it, and as you sustain that, just watch your life change. Just watch what happens in the reflections that come back all around you. Nothing changed out there, but you changed. And when you change, everything changes.
That's great. And that was our chakra talk. That was
our
perfect. Thank you. Well, thank you again. We honestly, we record these, but we talk about this topic probably before and after we record everything. So thank you again for such a great conversation. This was the InnerMedia podcast, and we are therealyou.net. So if you want to learn more about us, just check that out. You could hear Ted's meditations as well, where he talks about breathing and all of this.
Yeah, we do some meditations, or so come check it out. If you're interested in what we've talked about today, practicing it, applying it in your life. Seeing if it's real or not. Does this stuff really work, or is it all just airy-fairy? Take a yoga class. There's a lot of them that are online these days,
definitely.
right, with the pandemic. Kundalini yoga is all about breath work, is all about meditation and focusing and raising this energy and feeling this energy. And you mentioned before, as an actor, or however we perform on the stage of life, it's so important to be able to breathe and be able to feel that self-empowerment, step into that zone, enter that place where we're in the flow of life intentionally, deliberately. Why? So we can bring the best of who we are to serve those that we serve in life.
Perfect. It's great. And if you like hearing us talk about movies, TV, Avatar: The Last Airbender especially, let me tell you right now, this is not the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. We have so much more we've already planned episodes on talking about. So if you like, this is the InnerMedia podcast. We release every Thursday. And if there's something that you're watching that you're like, wow, this is really cool, I wonder if they want to talk about it or something.
Let us know. Yeah,
email us, message in the comments, anything, let us know about it, because we like watching things that make us feel good. We've also talked about a lot of great things: Inception, Matrix, Kung Fu Panda. We talked about all that. But keep on tuning into InnerMedia. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I guess the last thing that we could say is just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Chakra, chakra, chakra. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.